prepared, to run a very effective business. That preparation is, all the things that you put in place in terms of, sales, marketing, your business plan, your financing, everything. You have to put that in place so that you can run a very effective business. And like you said, there are so many, businesses, in each corner, which mostly they are sole proprietorship, which, basically in any modern world, 80% of businesses are run by sole proprietorship. And in order to run a very effective business, you have to be well prepared.
And now, well prepared, can we look at things like leadership and management?
Yes.
In a business setup?
Yes. These two things are different. Leadership and management. These are completely two different entities or two different things, because sometimes people are confused between leadership and management. Well, leaders basically, they inspire people. They are innovators, they are visionaries. Leaders are people who set goals for the business. Managers are people who run the business, okay, and they must be expert in sales. They must know how to budget things and how to manage employees, how to basically run the business, to run the project. So, but leaders are there, okay, to set the goals, the mission, so that the managers can run the business. So in other words, managers are people who implement the projects or the business, but the leaders are people who has the vision, who has the goals and objectives to say that this is what we're going to do, and it's the manager who will run the business, who will implement that, in other words.
If you look at our contemporary settings, you normally see where somebody will be the leader and at the same time the manager will be being part of the management team. Do you think there's any advantage or risk?
Yes, somebody can be a leader at the same time, being a manager at the same time. So that means you have to have double skills, what I call double skills in management, because in business you have to have certain kind of skills to run your business. So you can see that somebody can be a leader, but at the same time they cannot be a manager. But you can see somebody who can be both, who can be a leader at the same time being a manager. So you see that mostly in small businesses, in partnership, because with that, you have a small staff, okay? So that small staff, usually being a leader, okay, you set the goals for that organization, and at the same time you manage the business to flourish, or to grow. So you can be a leader at the same time being a manager. That can happen, yes. Okay.
And before moving further, sometimes if you look at some of our business establishments, especially the local ones, when I say local ones, not necessarily the corporate big ones, but you see that that is in sole proprietorship. You see the owner or the proprietor, like the whole business, evolves around him. And is there the danger where if the proprietor goes, like on sudden death, for instance, comes, the business also follows him to the graveyard? Is there any possibility of something of that nature?
Well, like I always tell people, when you establish a business, whether it's a small business, partnership, or a corporation, the business is not about you, the individual, okay? You have to separate the business from you, basically the owner. Because the reason I said that, you have to build that business to, you have to create a brand name for that business. I will give you an example. If you see, so many small businesses fail, it's because, the owners basically concentrate solely on themselves. So the business to them is secondary to them. And it's not supposed to be like that. You know, you have to give priority to that business first, and then you, the owner, you can become the second. Because the reason I said that is people sometimes will know you as an individual, but they will not know the business. But if, let's say, for God forbid, you are gone, okay, people will not remember about the business. They will remember about you, the owner. And usually that's when the business to collapse and it follows you to the graveyard. And nobody wants that. You want, when you start a business, you want your business to grow, okay? And, you know, that grow, you know, you want people to work for you, even, you know, a family member. Even you are going to groom a family member, a son, a nephew, a niece, somebody who you know is very competent to run this business, you know, during your absence. I think that's what people need to consider now in this modern generation. Try and groom somebody, you know, somebody, like I said, family member, or, you know, that you trust, who can help you to take that business to the next level.
At least that will ensure a smooth transition.
Transition,
okay.
Exactly. And sometimes, like I said, when it's all about you, okay, and it's not about the business, so you will find it difficult to groom somebody, because you might think that your management style, you know, and that person's management style will not work. But sometimes, you know, you have to bring somebody in who you can train and who you can trust. You show them that this is the way I run my business, and this is the way I want you to run it. And that's when you see smooth transition.
The success of a business likely depend on the management team you develop. What kind of management team are we now talking about?
Well, that's the most important thing, and that's the most difficult thing most leaders face. Because, you know, being a leader, in fact, you know, you have to surround yourself with competent people, okay? People that sometimes as a leader you might not see certain things, okay, but the people around you, they will see certain things that you will not see, and they can tell you, okay, this is the way we need to, because being a leader, remember, you inspire, and you are innovate, you are innovator, and at the same time you inspire. But managers, basically people around you, they are, you know, what I call your lieutenants. These are people who will help you to succeed, because for you to be successful, these are people that are experts in marketing, in sales, in finance, in production, engineering. These are people with that expertise, and they are the people who can, you know, help you to run your business effectively and to take it to the next level. So without no competent managers, okay, it's very difficult for your business to go to the next level.
Now, if you look at another thing, you know, when we talk about business, is strategic planning. Is it important for a business establishment to have a strategic plan to work on?
Well, strategic planning, to me, I think is the most important element in anything. It's not only in business. Even you as an individual, strategic planning is something that companies, businesses survive on, because it's when the management team or the owner or the leadership, that's when they set goals and objectives for the company. This is when they will say, okay, next year, this is what we are going to do. And in the next 6 months, this is what we are going to do. In the next 5 years, this is what we are going to do. And they put everything in writing. Okay? And usually the leadership can, or the leader, you know, basically, which is the CEO or the managing director, can, you know, invite his line managers, okay, to say, okay, this is what we're going to do in the next 2 years, in the next year, or the next 6 years. So every business has to have a strategic planning, because it's without a strategic planning, trust me, it's like you know, a bus driver driving a car or a bus, just driving around. He doesn't know where he's going. But with a strategic planning, it will tell you, okay, the things you want to achieve for your organization. So whether it's business, whether it's anything, even your personal life.
Okay, that's good. in just in a nutshell, what advice will you give out to people in business, people who are about